We'll get to all of them a little bit later on. But in the meantime, what do you say we get into some wrestling music here?
All right.
Aha! Hey, but Miss Jay Moore, what is this crazy stuff? Music?
That's the ECW theme song. I thought I'd throw it on for old time's sake for our guest at this time.
Yeah.
Mr. Todd Gordon. I love this.
Todd is on the line. Hello, Todd.
How you guys doing in Niagara Falls?
Oh, we're doing great. We are doing absolutely great. I've waited for this for a long time to talk to the great Todd Gordon. And for the simple fact, not only because of the new book Todd has got, but my fandom growing up. Todd Gordon, you don't know it, but you were a huge part of my wrestling fandom growing up. I watched everything. I literally ordered from Rob Feinstein back in the day every Eastern Championship Wrestling video on VHS. I had the whole catalog, and to watch your career and talk to you today is amazing to me.
I love fans like you. Trust me.
You do? It's funny.
That's true.
You do. I know. Well, you're all about the fans. That's what ECW is about. And let's face it, let's call it like it is. You were the founder, the creator of ECW. And I think, in my opinion, a big part of your business was catering to the wrestling audience. At least your wrestling audience, because it was a little different in the day. It was kind of niche, was it not?
100%. What it was I wanted to put on shows that I would enjoy.
Yeah.
So I knew if I would like watching it as a fan, because I was a fan at heart and always was.
Yeah.
Then people who came to the building would like watching it. Our very first ever main event, our big first main event, was Terry Funk, Stan Hansen, Abdul the Butcher, and Kevin Sullivan. I wanted to see that match.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
So it was just a natural love affair we all had.
Yeah, so you were working the jewelry shop in Philadelphia, right? And you still have that, right? Carver and Reed.
I sure do.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how did you get involved in the business? Was it just putting your money in with a couple partners and wanting to start something? Like, what was it that attracted you to break in and get some guys going? And like you said, that main event with those legendary names, like, what was the drive behind that?
Actually, I was a backer with a guy named Joel Goodhart with a federation called TWA.
Yeah.
Just to get my foot in the door. I met him through a radio show that he had, and he went bankrupt, and the guys who were working for him came to me and said, listen, any way you can keep this thing going, just once a month at a sports bar, Mike Schmidt's sports bar. One show a month, we'll re-announce for free, I'll do this for free. I was like shaking my head like, what? finally said, okay, we'll try it.
Yeah.
We tried it out. We started running like once a month,
Yeah.
800 people. And believe me, if you told me then, 2 years later, I'd be on pay-per-view, national television, I think you were crazy.
Yeah, of course. It's an amazing story. It's the only story that has this history to it when you think about it. You know, other wrestling promotions are come and gone, but ECW has its own thing, and it's just interesting. That's what interests me most about ECW is your days under your ownership when it was very first started, because there's some of the older generation that may know that, but there's a lot of new generation of wrestling fans that may not know that history because you kind of went off the radar for so long and now come back into it with the book that you have, which that's the history that I love, where you started it, legit mortgaged your house to keep this company going, and the business and the drive and the balls you have to keep something like this running is admirable to me.
Well, I thank you for that. But that's really what happened. It got to a point where so many years of people saying, Paul Heyman's ECW, Paul Heyman's ECW, and I thought,
yeah.
I didn't even hire him until like a year and a half, 2 years after we opened the doors.
Yeah.
So that was kind of, it just kind of got lost in the translation somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it true in the
As
book?
I said, so many books and so many DVDs have come out that have been produced by the WWE, calling it the unauthorized history of, the unauthorized story of, the rise and fall of the unauthorized version.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was time for the people to get the actual authorized version. When I was there and saw it all and did it all.
That's what I love about it, too, because you were the man that saw it all and did it all, and they kind of erased your part of history in all those, biographies you're talking about, these authorized versions from the WWE that bought the company. But the real history was Todd Gordon running it in these little venues and keeping this going. And like you said, you brought in Paul a year and a half later and gave him a job basically to help book, but you were maintaining things, running things, and it's just your part of this is why I wanted you on the air, because the wrestling fans here in Canada should know this history if they're new to the wrestling business in any sort of way.
Well, if they read the book, they'll get every little detail of how it started, how it grew, what happened, and how it ended. It's from beginning, soup to nuts.
Yeah,
it's all in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great, road stories and fun stories, and it wouldn't be ECW. It wasn't about the drugs, the sex, and the rock and the roll too. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Did that part of the life, because you kind of dove into that a little bit with what was it, East Coast, West Coast with the boys of ECW when it did divide? Like, how did that change you as you were a businessman and then you're on the road? Did it change you as a person at all?
I don't think it changed me as a person at all.
No?
I think it was just another outlet for my creativity, and also an outlet for me to use some of my business acumen. But I was learning on the fly. That was hard.
Yeah.
Business, unlike any other business, where people look at you eye to eye and they'll lie to your face because they call it working you. They say they're working you, not lying to you.
Yeah.
They're lying to you. But so it's a really it was a work in progress. I learned from mistakes and I grew from them, and I got the respect of the guys and became friendly with a lot of the guys. I'm still friends today, 30 years later, best friends with Sandman, Alfonso, Too Cold Scorpio. We're the four of us today. Just 3 days ago, we're doing a four-way text. Just a relationship we've continued over the years. It's a great bond.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. I remember, God, it was a long time ago, maybe a decade or so ago, where I actually got to meet you. You came down into Buffalo. It was a ballpark, and I couldn't believe you walked in there with it was Too Cold, and I think Sabu was there too, Sandman definitely, and tore up Buffalo down here, and it was just
the ballpark brawl.
That's right, you do remember it. I couldn't believe you.
Of course, it was myself and Sandman against Fonzie and Sabu, I believe.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And I heard the music hit. I was in the Ball Diamond, and I didn't know you were at the building at all. And out comes Todd Gordon. And to me, a place in my heart, as I always said, for starting ECW, a company that I followed for a long, long time. And it was great to see you walk out back then. I can't believe you remember that. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Rich Hill was the promoter's name.
Chris Hill. Chris Hill was his name, yeah. He moved to Florida eventually. But, yeah, he used to put on wrestling shows at the stadium, and it was interesting. But and we watched ECW back in the day at the Burt Flickinger Center down here all the time, and the shows were unbelievable. It must have been unbelievable for you, too. At some point, you had to get in the ring. like with Fonzie and stuff like that. You guys, literally legendary matches in ECW. It goes down in history, for two guys that weren't even wrestlers. Like, how was that for you? Like, you're now the businessman, the promoter, the booker, and now getting into the ring, which eventually you end up doing, and putting on one of the most legendary matches in ECW history.
Quite honestly, my thought was to never be actually in the ring in that form. Other than making announcements for the next show or things like that, I never thought I'd be in the wrestling working. But the angle with Bill Alfonso, it had to have a natural conclusion there where he came in to try to shut me down.
Yeah.
We spent a year building him up as a state referee, trying to knock ECW down, and it just built to that point. So when it got to that point, again, you're right, neither one of us were workers. I mean, we were just guys.
Yeah.
So we got together, we said, look, the only thing we can do is we just don't embarrass ourselves. I have a locker room of guys who are going out there killing themselves every night. Sabu breaking his neck. Our locker room was like a mass unit after a show. We can't go out there and do like Jim Cornette versus Paulie. We're like ripping each other's clothes off in a tuxedo match. We're going to do this. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So we just agreed to do it. And like I said, we were best friends. We went out there and just beat the living daylights out of each other in that ring.
Yeah.
I mean, literally beat the daylights out of each other.
Yeah, it was the old school booking of where you gave it to them for so long, and you had to wait for the payoff. And when the payoff came, it was huge. I think that was huge in ECW with a lot of those storylines that you guys booked and put together. A lot of those characters that came out of that company was so smart in the psychology and the booking, and different than what you were getting with the WWE at the time.
They were putting out cartoons, and we were putting out hardcore, real stuff.
Yeah.
And these guys went through the crowd and the audience. They brawled through the buildings everywhere we were, from front row to last row, so there was never a bad seat, because you could see them everywhere in the building. No one ever touched these wrestlers. They knew. They were right there watching them hit the heck out of them. I mean, nail each other.
Yeah.
Still forced. I mean, there was no joke. They did not get involved. They just watched and said, wow, this is real.
Yeah,
and it was.
Yeah, it was out in the audience. It was, I wouldn't say out of control chaos, but I mean, just for, the way things are now. But it was fun. It was a fun fan experience. You got up close and personals with the pro wrestlers, and they put on they everything on the line to entertain you.
And the fans were as much a part of the show as the wrestlers were. Whether it was bringing weapons to the ring match, or bringing weapons to the show match, or whether it was their chant that they had for each guy who came out, including the Todd is God chant, which is how the name of the book evolved.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, all that came from the crowd that we set off to them.
Yeah, amazing. It's kind of gone today. You don't see it anymore. I'm just giving my opinion on things, but you will never see what ECW did. It's weird that you changed the way wrestling was, but it's also now today looking back on it, it can never be reduplicated.
We were lucky. We caught lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
I came up with the idea of doing the Howard Stern of wrestling, basically R-rated wrestling.
Yeah.
Not X-rated, but R-rated. Not no holds barred with the microphones and things like that.
Yeah. And
people wanted it. They loved it. I mean, from here to Japan, they said like, "Oh my God, finally something that seems real to me, something I can get into."
Yeah.
And Sammy was a barroom brawler. He came out to the ring with a beer and a cigarette. That's who he was.
That's right.
Everybody
was
right. Extensions of who they were.
Yeah.
So we're going to do cartoon characters.
Well, and at my age, at 48, I was a huge fan of wrestling from 5 years old. So I was brought up with the rock and wrestling era, and then it died out on me. Attitude Era was great, but it was ECW that brought me back, because I'm now old enough, like you said, to enjoy the people that want to have a beer, have a cigarette, get rowdy. The 90s, where it was, like you said, the Howard Stern of wrestling, and that's exactly what it was. And you guys provided it, and thank you for all of that, Todd.
Oh, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to meet you guys.
Yeah, no, it's been great. I really wanted more time with you, but of course it's only a 10-minute segment I get here. But do you have what do you want the audience listening to leave knowing with this book that you have out there? Because the book it's a lot about your business, a lot about the road stories, and like you say. And do you have anything that you want to close out with for the audience?
Just this: if I was a fan, it would be the kind of book I'd want to read, because I wrote it as a fan. And wanting to read it as a fan, and it's sort of like a love letter to all the fans out there, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely, it's perfect, and it's coming out at the perfect time of year where it's getting colder, and you can go inside and read a book, man. And this one I love, Todd is God, available on Amazon. And Todd, you got anything else?
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was great.
I as well, Todd. You've been great. You're a gentleman. You're total business. And thank you for joining us here on 4680Q, my man.
Hey, thank you, Todd. I'm not the wrestling guy. I'm the guy that he gets in the ring and he picks on me. So that's my part in the whole thing. Todd there?
He's out of here.
He's gone.
He's out of here.
He's gone.
Yeah,
I start talking, he hangs up.
He doesn't want to hear about you, Pat Porter.
He's worse than you are, Jay Moore.
Todd Gordon, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Todd Gordon from ECW, the original founder of Eastern Championship Wrestling. You can look up all that knowledge. You can get the book on Amazon, Pat Porter, because this is a good read.
I'll have you read it to me. Eh? Can you read? You can read? Do you have to hold your finger under the words or what?
You can't read, then that's why I have to read.
You have to put a ruler under the lines and so you know where you are?
Todd is God. Thank you very much for calling in. The great Todd Gordon.
Good stuff. Good stuff. You got a lot of information out of him, infamous Jay Moore.
He's a genius in the wrestling business. He started a company from scratch that made it huge and is still known today. It was very legendary, and I have much respect for the great Todd Gordon. And the fact that he called in here today means a lot to me, Pat Porter. So
it does.
Thank you. Yeah,
it does. All the way from Philadelphia, and he's in the middle of 3 or 4 different things that he's doing this afternoon.
Yeah, shout outs to Carver and Reed. He still runs a huge jewelry store out there, and a number of different businesses, man. Like Todd Gordon. I was about to say Pat Porter, but you're not no Todd Gordon. Todd Gordon is legendary.
He's no
business.
Pat Porter either.
No. Yeah, exactly.
All right, fair enough.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's it for the wrestlers for today. Eh?
Well, I wanted to play a lot more. I wanted to do an ECW tribute show and I would have liked to have Todd on longer. But I know that you interrupted everything with yes. Let's face it. Let's call it out on air.
Right.
You went to Rick Rose and you went to the management and said you didn't like some of the past shows that I played with the Pantera music, the Metallica music.
I never said such a thing.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I got word, and you won't let me have the wrestlers
on. Just because I got my finger stuck in my ears doesn't mean anything.
You won't let me have the wrestlers on, Pat Porter.
The wrestlers
and you didn't even say anything all the way through that Todd Gordon interview, one of the biggest interviews.
What am I going to say? I don't know anything about.
So you want to play your blues music? You want to have your Steve Grisbrooks on, and that's what I have to do for the rest of this show. So I've lost control of my own show because legendary Pat Porter knows how to play politics in the wrestling business, and that's exactly what you did today.
Politics.
Yeah.
Well,
you're a politician.
I've been around a little longer than you have, infamous Jay Moore.
You worked your way into making this a blues show. You know I don't play blues on my radio show.
It's not just blues. Yesterday I had some ragtime on.
Yeah, ragtime.
I had Danny Boy Phelan on yesterday, Irish singer.
Yeah.
Sang ragtime. He sang blues. He sang old country music. He played the banjo.
Yeah.
He played the fiddle.
So why can't you have that stuff on your show and just leave my show
It wasn't
alone?
on my show.
I'm playing Motley Crue. I'm playing Metallica. I'm playing Pantera. I'm playing the good music. I could have done an ECW tribute show today, but you dragged this into day number 2 for you of now dragging it into my show. How many blues? You love the blues. That's the thing. You're sitting there laughing about it. You got your finger queued up to play more blues music.
Yeah, I do.
And you just shut me up. So I might as well just put my headphones down, leave the studio, and
don't
you do
take a nap or something.
Goodbye.
They crawl on the floor over there. You know?
I lost control of my own radio program.
He's out of here. He's out of here. Okay, we got to play some music here. Slam the door on me. He's gone. Pat Porter without Jay Moore. 4680 Q. Give me some lovin'. Blues Brothers.
So glad
So what are you doing back in the room, J Moore? I thought you left and gave me some peace and quiet here.
I needed a bathroom break. No, I can't let you take over.
You slammed the door on your way out.
Because you upset me.
Oh, too bad about that. Yeah, well, that's tough. Life is tough.
You let me have a 10-minute interview with Todd Gordon, and then you cut that short even just to play music.
No.
Does it make a difference? You could have played that music at any given time. You didn't have to interrupt my Todd Gordon interview at all. No, you didn't have to.
Well, I felt like it was about time.
Especially when the name of the show is the infamous Jay Moore Show with Pat Porter. I thought this show was for me.
It is your show.
And suddenly you're doing creative.
Yeah, but you don't know what you're doing half the time. So that's why you got to have me sitting in there.
Are you kidding me? What do you mean I don't know what I'm doing? I just
you
gave
don't
you
have
the
a clue.
biggest guess. I mean, what guess do you have? Gene Simmons from Kiss?
Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
Gene's out there.
Exactly.
He's probably listening right now.
Well, he probably is listening because I know he's a big fan of yours, Pat Porter, and we know that he listens when he's on the road. And I know we've had him on the old station. Well, you've had him on.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I've had nothing to do with it. That's your claim to fame, is that you're
there's a lot more people than him.
You're friends with Gene Simmons.
Well,
yeah,
I know them all.
Sorry.
They're buddies.
I guess I've had my time. So what is next on the agenda? Mr. Legendary radio broadcaster Pat Porter.
Thank you.
You get a hand clap because you're able to fill the rest of the hour out. You think I couldn't do this?
Right. I didn't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing half the time.
Yeah.
I have to help you along.
By the way, Pat Porter, I know you may not like this, but I have a request for later on in the show.
Oh, yeah.
Muddy Waters is some great blues music, and there's a great Muddy Waters with the Rolling Stones out there.
I got Cab Calloway for you.
Exactly. You're not going to give me what I want. I just asked for one song.
Let's see if you behave.
Muddy Waters with the Rolling Stones.
Turn down the volume a little bit.
Great way to end this show.
Do I have to fade you down, or can you just lower your volume on your own?
Well, I just gave you the greatest interview of all time. Well, I try. Okay? Call Gene Simmons then.
No, we'll get him on another. He doesn't want to talk to you.
No, I'm done with you.
He only wants to talk.